Hey, my name is PolishLynx and welcome to another episode of Don't Forget Our Esports Dream. So we were asked by Jet, how much longer? And the answer is an hour maybe. Let's see what they are exactly talking about. She sighs, glancing around to make sure Cinta isn't lingering nearby. The space behind the gear flame booth clearly was designed for conversation. I can't stand the hasty fans here, have no sense of personal space, and Cinta, she's so no actions and is distant and nosy, and if I hear that laugh one more time I'll... Ah! I knew it! I knew that was that laugh there! Whoa! Whoa! Cheyenne clenched her fists with such intensity that I see veins shown on her neck. Chill, you're going to get a grey hair. Tell me I'm almost done. You're almost done. With a deep breath, she slips past me and back into the main gear flame area. A group of just 3 types huddle around Cynthia. Rather than placate them with a photo op or free stuff, she commands their attention with conversation. Her Chinese and complex English is hard to follow, but it's obvious that she's telling them something esports related. The way I understand the industry, it's basically impossible to make any money paying teenagers and 20. The way I understand this industry, it's basically impossible to make any money paying teenagers and 20 something to play games outside of Korea. Yet year after year, foreigners need some doing anyway. My gut tells me that's mainly because it's fun. My gut tells me that's mainly because it's fun and partially because they convince themselves they're building something that might be sustainable someday. The former I understand, but I'm skeptical of the latter. Either way, I'm not going to complain if their ill-advised ventures fund an event like this. Cinta parts with the trio only after exchanging business cards. The booth's less crowded than before, offering her and the Jet a momentary reprieve from PR mode. It must be one of the sponsored titles drawing people to the main stage. With all that pomp and Chinese money, they better be able to bait a few nerds to watch a soulless game for an hour. Sungwan, welcome back! Enjoying ICG? It's been alright. I'll give you a better answer tomorrow depending on how I place. Oh ho ho ho! Eyes on the prize and fine competition for Jet! With what I know of StarCraft's rigorous training requirements, you'll both spend the rest of the day practicing for tomorrow, yeah? No, we'll both need to warm up tomorrow, but a last-minute cram session won't help our chance of winning. The rest before a high-stakes match should really be the new standard. Oh, how structured! Consider yourself lucky that you need not plan around team meetings and strategy discussions. Only during the team league, but I'm not in the mood to hash out every day of our superior methods. The less they know, the better. Then one last activity for the fans before I leave the two of you to your evening. What? Another gimmick? Come now, Chaya, you put up quite a fighting guitar hero. I'm not convinced that was your first go for blasting instrument. I place you in a familiar territory this time, relatively speaking. She points her index and middle fingers at us and then brings them together. I'd like for you to play Blood War together against one of our interested guests. What? Like Macro Micro, the custom game? Whatever it is, unlikely. One of you will use the mouse, the other will use the keyboard. It should prove quite entertaining. Pfft, fine, I could smash convention, scrap, blindfolded. Is that so? Well then, that one too. We'll have the two of you as one take one, 2 opponents. That's only fair, right? I reprimand Jet with their way while Cinta pets us with another laugh. There goes our ticket to an easy exit. It's not long before Cinta barks her challenge for a ride. Winners that receive keyboard or headset. A number of interested congoers peel away from the main stage. Some lined up to compete and many more simply to watch. Even a foreigner decked in a team and sponsor logo stands among the spectators. At least he has the decency not to line up as a challenger. The Gear Flame keyboard and mouse we are meant to use are unfamiliar to my hands. As our two challengers are getting set up, I turn to Jet. Any preference? Mouse, also we should play Zerg. I don't have much faith in Synta's ability to pick a good map. If Jet's feeling confident, I don't have problem letting her lead. Just as we get ready to load the map, a look at our station reveals something amiss. Synta, we need another chair.
But that's part of the game. One keyboard, one mouse, and one chair.
Before I can protest further, Synta mashes the ready button and the countdown begins. Jet and I scramble for the seat. Although I'm first seat ahead of us, the crowd is clearly enjoying our conundrum. You stand, the table's too low to the ground for me to reach without squatting.
Hello, I'm not about to read my wrist before a tournament move.
She forced her way into the seat, grinding her hip against mine. With neither of us willing to back down, we end up with an uncomfortable compromise. The left half mine, the right hers. Our spot ends on instinct when the game finishes loading. Seconds wasted at this stage could leave us a minute behind in the mid-game. For once, I am grateful that Jet and I are locked behind a language barrier. With Synta commentating, our conversation is our... Oh.
Overlord, next. Do not make a drone.
What's the hotkey again?
And you call yourself pro gamer? It's O!
Almost the best bet as researching for a pylon. Wait, I can use both hands for hotkeys. Ha! I press the key with my right index finger on Q, but using my right hand in addition to my left defies the years of muscle memory I built, so it's only a minute later that I'm instead using it to rest my chin.
Pilot is drawn 1, the Overlord on 4, and the Hatch on 5 when I select it next.
I use location hotkeys for my bases in the early game. Anyway, then when I'm done making workers, I use them for battles. You should try it.
It's way more efficient. You're not just hotkey the base, and don't jump to it without telling me, and when I tell you to jump to it immediately. When I say so, double tap 5 and be ready to hit the... No, not now! Double tap 1!
We scout a Zerg with a clumsy 4-pull underway and a Terran apparently playing standard. Neither have scouted us, and a glance to my right shows why. Heads up, they can see our screen. I point out the many screens around the Gear Flame booth, broadcasting our first-person view. As if a 2-on-1 could be any worse, they've also got full intel on us. It's unlikely that our opponents are good enough to make use of stuff like gas mining, but then knowing our spawn location will make this challenging. Regardless, Jet remains more concerned with me than with our opponents.
If that's the case, they could have worker rushed us right away and instantly won. Since they didn't know that, we're bad now. Lynx, Z.
She's right. I choose not to inform Jet that I now bet in her judgment. 6 Zerglings attack our natural. Our expansion takes almost 10 full seconds of damage before we're able to drive them away. Likely the opponents later it lets us score a few free Link kills. If we're in a real game of StarCraft, our defense there practically guarantees victory in the next 5 minutes, but behind that Zerg's attack, his Terran teammate is powering up unchallenged. We need to scout.
Already on it. 2A.
Okay, will we play? Zerg will probably spend the next few minutes trying to establish an economy given that he's so far behind. That leaves us plenty of time to deal with the Terran. A peek inside his base with an Overlord shows an absurd number of barracks producing marines, firebats and medics. It's safe to say he expanded early. We're not going to have time to go for Muntalisks.
We have to. Harass is the best way to crush players with bad APM. It will be fine. We'll build a few sunkens, more of the geyser.
We cut corners as quietly as possible, certain the complete safe play is neither necessary nor wise in this situation. A amount of panic subsides when our messy tank team Zergling micro at the front of the Terran's base dissuades his attempt at a push. The intel they get from Scree looking should offer them enough time to construct plenty of spore colonies and missile turrets. But Jet puts her wrath on full display, bullying the Terran into submission with nothing but 11 Mutalisks and an Overlord. At first it's hard for us to get the timing for the moving shot down. After a few failed attempts, she calls out P. I press the button just in time and together we mow down the worker line. A casual StarCraft fan should know that Patrol Micro exists, but that doesn't make it an easier to defend against. Should we take a third or just end? Save it to Micro probably. Plus, this is kinda fun. She shows a smile before turning to hide it. At this point, we're just showing off. Jet shoots down a suggestion to proxy hatcher 2 for not without a suitable replacement. As we rush over their combined forces and use the Terran's main, we infest the command center just before it's destroyed. To the crowd's further light, we use them to train a few infested Terrans. They probably destroy what's left of our opponent's circling army with stank flare. When the challenges are called GG, Jet and I seamlessly exhale and lean back.
And you're both right.
You were working hard so that I could take it easy, right?
Lead, let's switch.
She lifts herself and hovers over me, taking my place on the left when I squeeze by. I'd have a hard time calling the way we're crammed against one another console, but I hope she's enjoying this as much as I am. Hip to hip, we slay 3 more challenger teams. There is a close call in game 3 when one of our opponents actually goes for the SCV rush, for he apparently couldn't convince his stranger teammate to do the same. Both sync over to one another, we execute a tame near exemplary shift-click worker micro. Only a single probe falls to the opponent's 4 SCVs. After our 4 victories, Cinta announced the contest conclusion to a disappointed line of hopefuls. With her headset unclaimed, she graced each of the challengers with mousepads instead.
Well done, I thought my came back my hamstring you more, but my credit wasn't there, so I have little to complain about.
Thanks, but don't you have a prize for us too?
How could I forget?
She peppers the back of her hand with that piercing laugh.
Woo-ho-ho-ho.
The other reaches into her pocket and reveals a keycard.
I've sure picked the room number on the front. It's within walking distance, just 10 minutes down the Quinglulu.
Whatever it is. Jet lurches forward a little too eagerly before stopping herself. When she does take our hotel key from a grinning Cynthia, it's as one might a business card.
Thank you. If I don't see you around tomorrow, I want to make sure you know that I really appreciate this opportunity.
It was physically painful for Jet to say that. Well done.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm starting with Vintage. Engineering, Chayong. Sukwan? What a beatdown.
You had a good time, just admit it.
You weren't there to see everything before that. Hundreds of sweaty nerds clamoring for photos and photographs here too, but she made it look easy.
People want your signature, that's a good thing, and Cinta seemed nice enough.
You think she's nice? She's my know-it-all with an annoying laugh, and I don't like how she looks down on me.
She picked you over anyone else.
She did more than that. I should have told before, but I got invited to this tournament. The same feat as Fierce or anyone who won the regional qualifier.
You're not playing in the open bracket tomorrow.
No, and it happened right when I responded to her job offer. I'm sure she had something to do with it. What can I say? Yet another handout.
I don't want to go through this again. Just plays well tomorrow so I don't have to hear about your insecurity anymore. Without a comeback from Chae-Young, we suffered next kilometer in cold silence. Cinta suggests the route to the hotel takes us along a brick-paved promenade. Locals glide past us, and the palm trees overhead shake in the wind. To my left, waves wash against the rocks beneath a foggy sky, and enjoy to see the sea breeze more if I didn't remind me so much of Busan. Sorry.
Hey? It's fine.
I saw Locke today, and my old coach. He's competing.
Look, here, he wasn't. God damn it! First and second place for last season's XSL. What kind of jiu-jitsu did your coach pull? This is such a bullshit.
A KPGA show first, maybe? Plus, I'm sure he's got way more international fans than someone like Jang. He deserves the spotlight.
A close set with Fierce or Locke would put either one of us in the spotlight.
I don't want to lose to anyone, but I especially don't want to lose to Ki-Jung.
If either of us make it that far, we'll have done enough work to be proud. Just play good games.
That's all we ever do. I know you want to win something.
Open bracket starts at 8 AM tomorrow. Did you know that? 8 AM? What the heck?
No, but I knew that you would. She shows me and walks ahead the rest of the way. I'm not sure what I expected, but the fight didn't down on me until the elevator ran up to the 4th floor. Chae-Young and I are sharing this hotel room. One king-size bed sits in the center of a room with another major flow. I can't blame Cynthia considering she was booking a room for a pair of siblings, but what the hell is the point of a window to the bathroom? It's been 10 since we stepped inside. We retrieve our belongings at a languid pace, each trying to move slower than the other. The first to unpack burdens themselves as first to act, to climb to bed and shut off the lights, or break the silence. In the end, it's her.
Don't look.
I don't know if that's possible. Oh my god. I don't know if that would be possible. Someone would really blind me. There's a window opposite the door with a nice little view of July, but I choose the certain darkness beneath the bed spread instead. Steam creeps beneath the door, followed by a herbal scent. Discipline Sung Kwan. The bathroom door opens. I hear her footfalls. A rustle of cloth, a towel of clothing. Another minute and...
Dead tired? You can look now.
Just resting my eyes, which are probably bleeding right now. What time are you waking up tomorrow?
You need to be awake by at least 7, so around then probably.
Why? I wouldn't give up the sleep.
I don't like walking alone, especially if I don't know the area.
I feel Chae-young take a seat at the bed's edge. When I found Luke, I see her racing a rush through her auburn hair. Even back home?
Sometimes.
Why? Korea is the safest country in the world.
Is it now? I thought it was Japan.
Chae-young does... Okay, I need to Google this now. Safest country in the world. In 2019. Let's check out this one. Top 10 safest countries in the world are as follows: Ireland, New Zealand, Austria, Portugal, Denmark, Canada, Czech Republic. Czech Republic? I don't know if that's true. Singapore, Japan, Ireland.
I'm afraid the Korea is not on the list.
Let's see how far they might be. South Korea is... Whoa! They are pretty freaking far. Why do you not freaking put the numbers? Which place is it? I won't be counting now. Anyway, Chae-young doesn't bother to explain whatever I am failing to understand. For a while, the only sound between us is that of her brushing. Okay, am I the only one thinking that she's goddamn beautiful? When did you start dyeing it?
I wanted to do before, but I couldn't until I left Shokuti 1.
It suits you, but your natural hair looks better.
Hey, who asked you?
When she's done, Chae-young grabs her hands together and falls back on the bed. We both have our eyes on the ceiling. We share silence. Yeah. We're not supposed to share space like this. I thought I feel more awkward about it. I'm probably not past my latent middle school crush on this girl, but everything else we share overshadows it. I'm not surprised you'd have a crush on her. We work troublingly well together. We always have. Right now I can't ask for more than that. When was the first time we played?
StarCraft. Why?
I don't know.
7 or 8 years ago. One weekend, when my parents were gone, my brother was supposed to watch me at home, but dragged me along to a cafe instead. I watched for a while, and then I asked if I could play. I just wanted in on the fun. I begged him to take me a few times after that, then he invited me, then I was the one inviting him.
Adapting to his kid sister was much fun.
He and his friends let me win once or twice before. I knew better. When I found out, I made sure they'd never make that mistake again.
It was normal for them to do that for you.
Maybe, but I couldn't stand the lie. Anyway, it was a few months before I took my first real game. I liked being around them, and they didn't mind teaching me. When I did start winning for real, he wasn't bitter. He was impressed. I think he knew before I did that I'd aim for pro gaming.
How much better was he at the hustle?
Hey, we only did it to his friends and classmates, and it was mostly for the laugh. I learned to love the attention I got from showing off. I miss those times. I'd hoped Minsa would become good. Although, for that reason, making her lure my catch was selfish.
If you hadn't, I wouldn't be here right now, so it all works out.
Heh, that's true. Then to think I could have had this room to myself.
I flick the light switch and pull myself back in bed, only for Chaeyoung to nudge my side beneath the covers.
Not yet. Your turn.
Fine. I watched StarCraft before I ever played it. I never missed a game of my favorite player.
Haha, KDG.
Yeah. He was the closest thing I've ever had to a hero. I was too young to appreciate his play. What drew me was the way he looked and spoke into camera. His stoicism and sportsmanship. He never let the pain of his defeats show. KDG talked openly about how hard his life was before StarCraft, that he was living out of PC banks and skipping school before his big break. I admire his achievements that much more. He played Protoss, so of course I did too, with friends from school sometimes, but mostly by myself. My parents never stopped complaining about all the time I spent at PC banks. I planned on quitting at the start of that school year just to get them off my back. And then, well,
I always had that feeling. It's why I never stopped bugging you to come practice after Hagwon.
Okay.
What the hell is a Hagwon?
Hagwon. Profit private is cram school. Oh, after cram school. Okay. Star Sense. Let's talk about practice partner. Boom. Considering how obnoxious you were at Hagwon, it's incredible that we started hanging out.
Don't blame me, that place was a terrible fit. All my mom knew was that it was chic to have your kid at a good cram school.
It's not just that you never did any work, it was that during the breaks you bragged non-stop about almost anything.
Mostly StarCraft, I bet. Isn't it a good thing that I did? Otherwise you wouldn't have challenged me.
Or you could have just been normal and I'd have asked you nicely.
I don't think you had the guts.
Either way, I was sure someone who talked too much wouldn't actually be able to back it up.
Almost everyone that lost to me had some mean shit to say afterwards. That you conceded with GG and shook my hand despite all my trash talk is what first made me like you.
You like me? I was too ashamed to even make an excuse. I went home right away, which spread Chaeyoung my true reaction. Spared. But the next day at Hagwon, she came to my desk to chat, and here we are now. You didn't make it easy.
Well, when everyone says mean shit, you learn to put up a little preemptive defense.
Understandable, I guess. Alright, well. I'm not tired yet, but the sleep I get tonight is important to my performance tomorrow. Who cares, man? I don't give a damn about the performance tomorrow. Actually, it would be perfect because you are talking with her. God damn it, man. You better be freaking helpful for what I'm doing for you. Did you keep in touch with anyone from Excel Shine?
Nah, once you and I got so far ahead of everyone else, destroying them wasn't any fun. Excel Shine was close to Hagwon, but it had the worst kind of PC bank hits.
I just made us friends.
Nope. Even the few who were nice always made it about what made me different, how impressed they were that I could be so good.
I thought that same thing all the time, but it felt weird and condescending to say it, so I never did.
Why did we stop hanging out anyway?
I never really thought about it. Bolt, how could you? You bastard. What an obscene lie. Back then, Jet Li was just a person I played StarCraft with. After that, I never asked her to hang out, most because I thought she'd say no. Idiot. There wasn't really anything stopping us from staying in touch when we eventually left that cram school, but it's inconvenient to make plans with someone far away, especially with how much I had to study. We might have talked a few times online, but when I heard she suddenly joined Shock T1, I knew I had missed my chance to stay friends. Not only is the life of a pro gamer busy, I'd also have looked like a pest getting back in contact only after a major success like that. It was probably your fault.
Ha! Probably. No, it wasn't her fault.
Okay, one more thing that is... this is not important, the characters doesn't matter. APM. Do you remember how we used to obsess about APM?
Of course, it was like a real life power level. The more you had, the better you were at the game and the more impressed all your fans were.
Sure, but we added so many unnecessary actions to pile our numbers.
Mostly in the early game, and I'd argue it kept us warm and tough, thought our hands move a little faster over time.
When we were crippled by carpal tunnel, at least we can rest easy knowing our middle school APM was out of this world.
Was mine higher? I think I hit around 200 APM when I was 13.
Don't remember or even what my exact APM was back then. What are we at now? I'm just under 300 last I checked.
Yikes. Don't mean to embarrass you or anything, but... kidding. Around 320.
Hearing the number drives a punk of envy up my spine. For a second I feel like a kid again. We need to change topics or I'm going to spam actions pointlessly tomorrow.
As long as it's not on stage.
Actually, maybe we should talk about something more. KDG. No. Let's not talk about him. But it's okay, it's suggested. Miso Kim, let's go. Whatever. How did you come to know Miso?
For our StarCraft lab, naturally. I wanted a place to play and show off at school, so I made one. As a first year, Miso did all my club work for me. All I had to do was show up and play. We had almost 30 members. I still made time for them after I got my license.
Why, you must have been ridiculously busy.
Yeah, but that's how much fun it was. I wasn't getting much better at the game then. The club made that horrible.
It doesn't sound like you.
I made a lot of mistakes when I was 16. Soon Kwan. I was happy to find my base and jump on command if I could pretend I was a pro gamer.
Every 16-year-old makes regrettable choices. Jet unfortunately made some of hers in public.
But Minseo was there for me unconditionally. Even though I never shared much of what was bothering me with her, being around someone so relentlessly upbeat is infectious.
Yuna might be in for the gift of her life. Okay, you are not tired. She might not be tired. Dude, you will be so power-upped after the night. I'm telling you, you will be in form.
If not for KDG, I doubt I'd be here. You talked about him all the time.
I want to be him. It wasn't just his strategies or playstyle, it was his presence. I tried hard to emulate that.
I still get goosebumps remembering the night that they clashed for the last time.
If KDG hadn't lost, it might be my favorite memory. You were resourceful about finding a TV.
Your parents wouldn't let you watch, and I wasn't going to explain the whole match to you next day. I wonder what happened to him and Ak, besides something obvious like military server or school. Do you think most pro games keep playing after they retire?
Maybe at first, but once a champion moves on to bigger things, they can't keep living in the past.
I'll still be playing StarCraft when I'm an old lady. Count on it.
That's everything I want to say to her. I'm glad to have gotten all that off my chest. Now onto every computer's most important tool for preparation. Alright, for real this time. Sleep.
You got it.
She bears herself beneath the covers and turns away. I do the same. I bolt upright. This bit unfamiliar. Where am I? The hotel, of course. To my right, Chaeyoung. I watched her sleep for a moment too long. My eyes turned to click. 6:59. I marched the door to keep its hole from clogging the space between us. I show her we dress and we go. The walk is good. Already I feel familiar electricity rolling through me. This feeling, it's refreshing. A reminder that I am who I say I am. Bolt, the pro gamer. A minute before we reach the command center, I clap. Loud enough that Jet flinches and stares. I'm tense, would like the steel springs in her legs, ready to pounce. I'm going to kill this open bracket. Explode the arena, meeting eyes with anyone that dares to do the same to me. They all break before my gaze. My jet set my heels, probably lowering her eyes on something else equally like her, but she's here for me, and that gives me confidence. March started for an hour. I'm hungry, but food comes after the first course. The foreigners and locals make a spectacle of my warm-up. 8 PM in the 400s, something they've only seen ingrained in film or spoken in myth.
You're going to break your keyboard, calm down!
No, let me write this out. Headphones, blinders, silence them. There, here I am alone. Just me and these probes. They might as well exist in my hands. And before I know it, the bracket is about to begin.
They just announced a format change. 200 players signed up, so the bracket is best of one now.
That shakes me. Jet can tell and steps forward to put a hand on me.
You're fine, just scout your base hard on 2-player maps.
This is ridiculous. Best of one.
No loser side for top 16 either. They set 4 hours side for the bracket. I don't think these people know how to run a StarCraft tournament.
Disaster. With such a perfectly reasonable excuse if I lose, I could convince myself that it's an acceptable outcome. It was best of one. Nothing I could do. But I'm not an amateur. I send a thought aside and think of what advantage I can take from the development. I don't need to rush, but I do need to put units on the map. None of them can hold me. There is no time to share my thoughts with Jet before the first round begins. An ill-equipped tournament organizer hustles down row after row, doing all that he can do to start matches between brain-dead competitors. Bolt versus Schixorms. Okay, I guess we'll be doing this again. Let's go. My first opponent was apparently do nothing more but make Zerglings. What a waste of time. You're in the way. Move! Left, T, left, 1, right, A, left. With nothing left of his paltry army, he has the sense to leave the game. Good. Now, who's next? Well, the Dacian royalty. No, just Dacian. There is a certain fear forced upon a competent player who arrives at the base to find it lacking basic structures, knowing that they must defend an incoming proxy. This early in open bracket, though, it's just a sign of incompetence. Sorry buddy, your run ends here. I don't fucking see what's that. Click. Crushed, I hear my opponent shout the curse from his setup. I turn to Jet with a grin. Instead, I see Look. When I show a rigid nut, he matches it and moves on without word. Lucky Fool versus Bolt. His opponent seems keen to turtle and draw out the match. With a ridiculous economy behind my back, I feel no stress as I engage him out on the map. 1, A, left, 2, A, left, 3, A, left. Even with stasis upgrades and zero drops trading efficiently, with an army like this is the best I can hope for in Korea. But here, it's more than enough. Fear Dragon, Ryan Fisher. No, it's Fear Dragon. This one seems like a step up from the previous. I admire his attempt to stay on par with me in a standard game. Left, R, left. But the fun's over. See if you can come back from this. Time to wreck the Carvok. Behind these hunters I've got tech upgrades and a massive army ready to crash forward. 1, A, left. With his expansion and production destroyed and upgrades delayed, I guarantee myself an easy win. But hey, good game. Bolt versus Inner Circle. The preliminary stress I felt going into this island map melted away as soon as I got my first course around. Old maps with new knowledge. This guy was never going to touch me. Should I have made carriers? Who knows? But this is fun as shit. Left, D, left. Left, D, left. 1, A, left. I didn't expect that. How long has been since I've actually used Disruption Web? In tandem with a critical mass of carriers, it's impossible for him to ever get close. Camp his production, stay in position, try all like to claw your way back into this, but I'm the one who's moving forward. 1A left. If I can finish all of these hatcheries, this guy has no chance left. Let's do this! 1A left. And it's done, I'm moving on to the round of 16. Average MPM only 132. Accuracy, but accuracy of course 100%, so I take it. Rank S. Continue. I don't look away from the victory screen by choice. I am ripped from it when Jet takes me by the shoulders and forces me to my feet.
Nice game! Now we need to go!
Hey, the modest crowd applauds me as I'm whisked away. A few force mouse spots out and jabber at me in everything except Korean, but Chaeyoung's instant tag wins out in the end. What's so pressing? Let me savor the win for a second, will you?
Main stage matches are about to start, and I need to eat.
Can't you just... Alright, never mind.
Thank you. And congrats on advancing.
I'd imagine that a tournament as large as ACG should have a backstage area for players to rest and snack away from the crowd. But those hopes dry up when a tournament official fails to return after promising Jet to find out where it is. We resign ourselves to overpriced convention food, but that too seems out of reach when we turn a corner and observe a line of no less than 50. We're still an announcement blares that it's time for Brood War to start. We're out of time.
Sungkwan, translate something for me.
Attention, Jet will trade her autograph for lunch. A signed flip phone and convention badge later, whispering for the main stage with 2 tangerines each, when Chaeyoung catches sight of me trying to unpeel one of mine with my teeth mid-run. She nearly trips laughing. With some frantic waving from ICG staff, we find our way into a dark hallway adjacent to the stage. This isn't remotely close to the reception we're used to at XSL or even VSL events. We're ushered to a semicircle semicircle made up of 14 other StarCraft players. Fierce and Locke stand together opposite Jet and me.
I got here just in time. Good to see you again, man.
Like you did. Enjoy, that even doesn't start when we arrive.
Do me a favor, make it to France again, huh? Shink's looking strong this season. I'm not ready for the 7 Kings to end just yet. I don't want a rematch. I owe it to my fans. Then come get it. Certainly, I'll give them a match to remember.
4 Koreans, 2 Chinese, 1 Taiwanese, 5 Europeans, 2 Americans, a Canadian, and a Russian, I think, stand backstage. Rightfully Locke and Fierce are on opposite sides of the bracket. Competition for third is between 4 or 5 of us realistically, including me and Jet. We have the good fortune not to face one another, but any good fortune in a bracket like this dries up quick. She faced Fierce in the semifinals, the same that I faced Locke. Coach Park lingers just outside of our group. Anxious eyes intend on Locke on Fierce. I don't look at him when we break as a group. Once the ACG staff finish their rushed and uncoordinated opening ceremony, we find seats in the crowd and wait out our matches. Nervous?
You know how much I prepared for ZVP.
And I PVZ, but before I can say as much, I feel an arm snake its way across my shoulders and onto Jet's.
Ooh. There you are, Chaeyoung! Playing soon! Yeah, trying to get in the zone, so you know. Then I'll leave you to it, Sungkwan. When is your match?
6th, Jet goes 2nd. The lights dim, rock music triggers the crowd to cheer, and the players step into the play area behind the massive screen. The Taiwanese players then against a suite. Buffingly, the players are invisible up on stage. ICG remedies that major oversight with occasional facecam shots alongside the game feed. Just attentive on the back and forth throughout the series, considering each faces the win the next round. It's not out of appreciation for either player's style. Throughout the series, I find the urge to excuse myself to the balcony. A Korean professional shouldn't need fresh air before a match with a foreigner. We then poised to take his victory with a 2-0. I offer Jet a thumbs up. When she moves backstage, she answers it with a stern nod. My gaze follows her until she steps out of sight. I return my attention to the screen to find it focused on Zen out of his booth and celebrating on stage.
He does seem to handle pretty much pressure quite well.
As we should. Rustically, I'm going to smash my way through the bracket up to luck and then lose 0-2. Not much to be nervous about.
Hey, that's everything out, dude. But you don't seem the type.
How much do you know about StarCraft?
Enough to have extended opportunity onto Jet. It's an antiquated game, but one I nonetheless respect.
Right, well, Fierce and Locke are part of something called the 7 Kings, them players who made every XL top 8 for the past year.
A caliber for above the rest.
It's not just skill. Our ecosystem supports players like those 7 before all others. Their personalities and personal stories are what keep the fans engaged, so a team is incentivized to create or acquire stars and keep them relevant for as long as possible.
Challenging, no doubt, especially when cars are so brief.
Lesser players mostly keep them in top form or lose to them. The dream of breaking out someday is the only thing that keeps us going.
I had forgiven Chae-young's lie, but now I understand it. Quite a friend.
Huh? I nod my agreement. I shift into once to Jet when she emerges on stage. Her game's about to begin.
Wait, what did she just say? Seung-kwan, you realize that your badge has your last name on it, yes?
I see.
I appreciate that you both kept pace with my thesis. Don't worry, I won't have Daddy charge you for the trip.
What was her story exactly? Why would me, being her brother, let me tag along?
I'll let her expect you on her own terms.
The crowd cheers for Jet since she's a face they recognize. Either that or they don't have any other way of showing their surprise that the girl can play StarCraft. It's been more than a year since she's been inside the booth. What I see on her face as she prepares to enter Chinese initiation isn't trepidation, but nostalgia. Jet sinks in a deep breath as one might on a walk in the woods. Then she demonstrates her confidence in a ZVP is well earned. One of Cinta's teammates behind us mutters his amazement.
One-sided like a pistol round against a friend. So good. Lars, I have rules for professional gaming. Play the video game well and do not say anything racist. I don't like it when you break my 2 rules.
I like what he does that for.
Come on, this guy's no kid. As I was saying, Chae-young is everywhere at once.
There's the matchup in nutshell, at least when Zerg is winning, but this isn't Jet at her best.
Eh? But she looks so confident.
Her strength is in her reactive and tricky play. She likes to macro, but I wouldn't call her passive. That style has problems against inferior players. You end up reading into their mistakes and find mind games, where there's simply inefficiency.
Quite skill gap on the world stage is remarkable, especially in a game as popular as yours.
The gap between us and the foreigners is one thing, just wait until luck and fit play.
Eh? Both are well regarded abroad. Jet too, you know.
I know that. My guess would have been that foreigners don't know to appreciate those outside their countries. Did you have a hand in her bracket seat?
Eh? How do you mean?
Jet got an invite to this tournament right after your organization messaged her about the job. She thought you might have had something to do with it.
Is that so? Well, I have absolutely no say in what ICG does. Don't forget, I'm here as a competitor as well. Jet's invitation was no doubt for her substantial profile. It means much to men that she can stand on the stage.
Cinta points to it just as Jet steps out of the booth. She acknowledges the crowd with a wave and they applaud her until she steps out of sight. Jet joins us in the crowd soon after her victory. High on her win, she delights in autographing a few mouse pads before learning her seat at my side.
Nice! Come on, give me more than that. I deleted that guy. Well done, I mean received. Seung-kwan can follow up your performance. Impossible. A Zerg victory is a thing of beauty. A Broad's victory just means the opponent made one mistake.
She and Jet share love, so they can get along as long as it's at my expense. The next match is between 2 foreigners. I watch only from a sense of obligation. With the score at 1-1 and a typical base trade situation nearly ends in a tie. It isn't until one player extends too far with his air units to pick off a floating terrain building that the situation changes. Without the ability to defend, his luck structure the series ends. The next belongs to Fierce. Most pro gamers cannot dream of earning the chance to play Fierce in tournament. I believe that Locke is a better player, but there is an enviable quality I won't deny in Fierce's play that's reflected well by his name. The man does not give up. He's made so many ridiculous comebacks in his career that they are inseparable from his persona. Fans and commentators are alike terrorized that he must prefer to play from behind. I can't believe that something like that is true, and I certainly can't believe that he'd allow himself to fall behind against foreigner here and now. He doesn't.
I'm going.
I'm going.
Good luck, warm up. PCs are behind the stage if you need one.
I roll my neck and answer Cinta's well-wishing wave with a nod. I don't. Probably.
Yare yare.
I take my time collecting my earbuds, mouse, and keyboard. A computer has no need for a flagrant calibration, especially against a foreign opponent. I stepped through the booth door to behold 100 screaming fans. For all of ICG's shortcomings, I can say with honesty that I've never been cheered so hard in my career. The shock of it freezed me in my face. There, at the edge of the stage, I stare out across the sea of raised arms and painted signs. A flash of auburn near the front row catches my attention. When we meet eyes, my feet free themselves. I move backstage with intent to retake my seat, but as I turn into the hall, I find a figure waiting in the exit. He does not acknowledge me. If I didn't know better, I'd think he was ignoring me. Through the overhead light's reflection, I can see his eyes are closed. I cried luck for my ability to tune out of the unnecessary. All the many things I learned from Kijunk, this was one that he explicitly taught. Part of me wants to say hello. I am fresh of a win, something he is guaranteed to acknowledge. But I set aside my need for recognition. His game comes first, and we'll have time to talk after we play, so I step past him and prepare to turn the corner back towards the crowd.
It's unfortunate. It won't be a team kill, but it will feel like one. I'm glad to see you made it. Did Chaeyoung Song have a hand that?
Jet is a good person, the real computer. I wish more people knew that.
We remember the kind, but kindness is not why they persist. It's because that trait is really someone worth remembering.
I'm glad you kept your word. Not ready to run, and I won't be until I've accomplished something to be proud of.
I hope that's the truth. Well done, Sun, I'll admit, I spent less time watching the game than I did you. Your face is so honest when you're preoccupied with StarCraft.
If my opponent can't see, it's not a problem.
Hey, but it is a charming quirk. It says less about the bolt inside the booth than the bolt outside it. Let down your mask sometimes. Don't try to understand him. Dive deep into learning about Sun and all you'll find is angst and salt. Clean game, too, by the way.
Back on stage, an American crushed his opponent in 2 quick games. The crowd gives him less of a cheer than he deserves for knocking out a Chinese player. He acknowledges them nonetheless with a wave before retreating backstage. 9 players left. A production assistant finds us in the crowd and hastily asks me and Jet to sit in the front row and not to leave the area for any reason. No doubt very nervous that the tournament is running 2 hours behind schedule.
It's past time we rounded up the boys of mine way. Free up the stage quickly, won't ya?
Will we see you again?
If you're in the crowd until then.
Jet's up again after luck. We spend a few months before the match begins away for the rest of the competitors. Zen plays well, but you will beat him.
I hope so. CVZ is such a coin flip.
Just get through it and claim your games against fears. Together we sneak a glance at the picture of relaxation. With his legs spread across 2 chairs in the front row, he lounges with his eyes shut and earbuds in despite the hungry crowd behind him.
Alright, time to go warm up.
I should focus on my own match as well, but I can't deny a sudden impulse. Hey, Fierce! I see recognition in his eyes. Without reluctance, he pops his earbuds out and holds them in either hand. Seungkwan Lee, right, both your handle. Yeah, nice to meet you. I study your games all the time.
For yourself or for luck?
Well, I just want to say hello. Korea was always going to win, but I'm glad to see 4 of 4 are still alive.
I'm just mad that Chaeyoung Song is here. I didn't know she was still competing.
She practices. We're here together, actually.
Oh, explains what I've been wondering. It's unusual for practice part to risk the triple O, no offense.
I can pay for a month-long team search with 3rd place. And I had factor second as split until I learned that luck replaced junk.
Bad luck, I'm personally glad he's here. I'm always down for a match with one of my fellow 7 kings. When did CHB Renowned cut you?
A few weeks ago. They're trying to shrink the roster apparently.
I heard something about budget problems. Shame and strange. I can think of a few CHB players I'd cut ahead of you.
My ego didn't need that, but it's welcome anyway. I'm here to put it behind me.
Well, as long as I keep winning teams, we'll always need Protoss practice partners.
Answered his laugh with my own. I dislike Fierce for standing in Locke's way, but I can't deny my respect for him. Before I can ask how he spent yesterday, a growing murmur from the crowd behind us breaks into powerful cheer. Zen just massacred Jet's drone line. He should crash forward if he's being aggressive, or macro up with more Mutalis if he wants to play solid. Either way, it will be close to impossible for Jet to crawl out of this situation. Despite its Foregone conclusion, I linger in an awkward silence with fears until Jet's defeat in a game 1.
Unlucky.
With my attention on Chae-Young, I only now notice Coach Park in the row behind me. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Fierce slip his earbuds back in.
As if I were her to win the set, but her margin of error just shrunk substantially. Then again, guessing the outcome means their quest isn't easy.
Jet has always inspired this matchup, mostly for the rock, paper, scissors elements.
This is volatile to say the least. It's much harder than in other matchups to predict outcomes based on data. For Team League rosters, as an example. You'll be up against luck next round if you win. Don't take advantage of your secret info from the team house too much.
He lets his grin fall away when I don't ask for it. If he thought that our earlier conversation had closed the wound, he knows better now.
Right, good luck with your match, Sungkwan.
Sure. The next few minutes pass in excruciating agony. Jet falls behind early and desperately claws her way back onto near even footing, on loose ground again and again. After a long, desperate struggle, I watch Jet's ICG run and the crowd explodes, a rising tide waves and screams that if it weren't for his place above them, might wash them out into the murky sea. For his part, the young Taiwanese player celebrates sheepishly. Zhuai might see him as hometown hero since he won, but he doesn't reveal in their praise as one might. I can see Jet from this angle, but she must still be in the booth. Should I say something? If not, now then. Chae-Young flies past the area between the stage and hallway out of sight. I find myself giving chase. Yes, I'm glad you did, for I find turned heads backstage. 2 in particular towards the restrooms. I don't see her. Those heads soon aim towards me, so I brush myself off and walk away to prepare for my own game.
Good luck out there, don't forget to have fun.
You mean to crush the opponent? I shake him off my right hand as if it's covered in filth. 2-1 against the Freiner. An embarrassment. Even if I did win it, I would not want to get out of the booth. Yet when I do, the crowd is totally oblivious to the mess they've beheld. Backstage Jets still nowhere to be seen. There is only 5 of us left. 4 Locke makes that 4 after half an hour on stage. For there aren't any windows in the venue to tell, I know it's getting late. Cynthia and her team were scheduled on stage an hour ago. Fierce and Zen take the stage next. I feel the crowd's blistering excitement through the backstage curtain. That leaves just me and Locke in the front row alongside production staff and other industry types. There's nothing for me to say to him until after the game. Above all, I want to show him and Coach Park that they made a mistake. Fierce closes out the first game and seems primed to take the sets. All the while I fight mounting distractions. Is Chae-Young okay? What time is it? Will Ki-Jung say something to me? Which start plan do I stick to? Focus. Tuned out. It's just 30 minutes. It will all be over. Play well and it will all be worth it. I know how I play. I wonder if Locke remembers his final lesson to me. It's just a game of StarCraft. Let it be a good one.
God damn it, what's with her for? And then, at last, it is time! Game on!
Once the game loads up, a calm washes over me. Without the ramp from the natural, this map makes early Dragon aggression a prime choice. That's comfortable territory. Whether or not this deals significant damage, it will at least be a chance to test... Save file first. To test how Locke wants to play this series. What I found is a greedy expansion poorly defended by the map's terrain. Getting here this early gives me a chance to deny Locke his resources until he builds up enough army to force me out. Locke positioned his barracks to prevent me from sprinting to his base to wreak havoc, but I turned his choke into my choke. He won't be able to escape his own base without siege tanks now. Satisfied with the damage I've dealt to his economy, I dealt more and call a retreat. I'm ahead going into the mid-game. With possible terrain overlooking the natural expansion on this map, Chateau Revere plays an obvious go-to, but Locke might be too far behind to preemptively counter it. Time to find out if that's true. I arrive to find an LCV spotting for units on the ridge and below, but no missile turrets. This is down to a test of micro. One left, right. Perfect. With only shield damage taken on my river and 3 units down, this has already been a success. Where to attack next? What the? Arrive? I have to get my shuttle out of there. But Locke doesn't miss a single moving shot. Not only was he prepared for an attack, he hard read it. That was a bad trade. With raids out, it will be much more difficult for me to get anything done with shuttles. Shake it off, Sungwan. What did luck teach you about reacting to setbacks mid-game? You don't. Now stop overthinking and macro! Left D. Left. D left. Z left. Fuck. Z. God damn it. Shit! Looks already back on his feet. I need to peel off some dragons. Do deal with this vulture drop. Was I supposed to do something? But when I pulled my dragons back, he rushed forward into another one of my bases. I can't let him pull me apart like this. Handle this loses Sunk 1. I can recover. But only if I get time to build cannons and challenge him out on the map. Yes, a group of vultures out in the open. I need to get on them before they can escape. Go! 1A left, 2A left. Finally, a good trade. Handing this roving harassment squad offers me the briefing room I need for a follow-up. I managed to sneak an arbiter past his defenses and into his main. I have just seconds to hit this recall before he either MPs or snipes it. 3R left. Yes, perfect. With the choke to his natural, it will be hard for him to pull back and defend this. Camping is destroying the production, making Terran is as close to checkmate as it gets. I can win. Locke resists, pulling his Weasel back to cast defensive matrix on his tanks right as they spawn, but the match I've dealt forces an end game scenario. Rather than pull back and fight a disadvantageous battle, Locke surges forward to crush my remaining bases. I split my army for this attack so I can stand against him. This comes down to the one final fight. Locke can't reinforce his army. Every tank I pick off puts me that much closer to victory. But Terran Mech is considered the strongest army composition for a reason. I can't stop him from pushing forward to my expansions. When I try, he crushes me. Game 1 goes to Locke. Fuck. Not good. I played fine, more than fine. That was a good game. Let's show the crowd at least one more, huh? This time, I favored the role of a defender. Locke does initially show much of an inclination to get aggressive, but does test my front with vultures. Shit, he managed to run by gapping my forces. I should have put a gateway at the wall, even if he might have sniped it later with tanks. What a blunder! Losing probes this early can be truly crippling. I need to pull my units back. Move! Left, left. Good, now to get my probes out of there and to my third base. I don't think there are mines around, but I should be careful just in case there are. 1A left. My expansion is almost totally naked, with a ramshackle well to the north. Just one dragon stands between my economy and his vultures. I need to hold this ramp. Get in position. 1H. Yes, I'm holding firm. I might be a little behind, but I'm still in this. I just need to pick up these final few vultures. 1A left. No time to celebrate. Macro cycle. Now! Left. D left. Fucking D left. Z left. Z. Without resource spent on river play this time around, I have stone ready for a first engagement on the map's counter. Your army is clamped, Kijunk. Let's see you move out of the way of this. Left. T left. Yes, 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 but I'm not done yet. Have another! Left. Fuck. Left. T left. 1A left. I must have hit before his upgrade's finished. With that skirmish won, I had more than enough units to clean up his enemy remnants. Push forward, take the advantage. Nothing's as satisfying as crushing isolated tanks. 1A left. 2A left. Beautiful, I'm actually doing it, but I can be complacent. Run down that mental checklist. 4th expansion, ready cannons, constructing and dragon guarding. With my economy secure behind this attack, I am free to get aggressive. When I catch 4 tanks in stasis, I feel the crowd rumble unposed. I'm much more bitter clothed in army into his natural. Holy shit, I'm actually this. His natural is done for. I'm certain he'll pull his pantry arm back to punish me for that attack. But I've got other plans. Rather than trade his economy for my units, why don't I just absolutely crush his economy for free? Recall now! I got you, Kijung. With his last mining base, 1 volley from destruction. Log types GG. Yes, I tied up the series. Fuck. My accuracy went down to not 100%. Oh boy. And APM terrible. Not good. What a rush. I never imagined I made it this far into a set against Locke. He opens game 3 with predictable vulture pressure. So I've cut my defenses thin as long as I'm careful while disarming these mines. I should be okay. 1A left. Then I thread the needle and prepare for a mid-game on even footing. What have you got in store for me this game, Kijunk? Nothing can break the flow state I'm right now. Not even this unfamiliar map. I hit my next macro cycle without even thinking about it. Left D, left D, left Z. But despite my on-point macro, Lockfless his knowledge of the terrain to force my probes off my third base. It looks I'm going to give up my third base, to Lock at least, but 2 can play it on unfamiliarity. When was the last time we faced down Corsairs in TVP, Kijunk? That's not something we ever practiced, was it? To the left. The fun I had with Disruption Web early in the bracket gave me an idea I knew I'd have to try. This kind of play is micro-intensive and fragile, but deadly if the opponent isn't prepared. And for Lock's many strengths, he absolutely was not prepared for Corsairs. I forced him off his entrenched position behind my third base and chased down his army. Not that behind this, he's already preparing Goliaths and Weasels, but I'm ready to pivot. Rather than continue to invest in air units, my command of the skies offers me enough information to transition back into the ground army. I guard my Corsair carefully, at least until they can get down their disruption webs. With his range units unable to fire, I can march straight into his tank line. Let's move! 3D left, 1A left. It's working, my plan is working without the firepower of his full force. My shields close distance and unseat Lock from the center of the map. I've pinched off access to his 4th base. Yes, this will cripple him. Just one more battle. If I can take down this army, he won't be able to reinforce now or never. Go! 1A left, 2A left. I'm winning. No, I've already won. I just have to play it out. What's happening? How is this happening? 3A left. Lock's army destroyed. I have 5 bases. Don't choke. He's going to type G. He typed G. He left the game. I won the game! An unbridled high cascades through my body. I scream, crash my headphones against the desk, and pipe my arse. Even knowing that the camera must be focused on my face, doesn't stop my celebration. Out of vital curiosity, I reach into my bag and pull from it Mean Sales Good Luck Charm. I feel luckier still when I pull it in 2 and reveal a USB stick. I myself there for study, but it's my ego that wants them. Without clue as to whether or not it's allowed, I transfer the set's replays onto the thumb drive. The crowd's knowing insistence that I acknowledge them finally leads me to exit the booth. The screams of the fans, the blazing music, and the gush of commentary. It's overwhelming. I can't yet comprehend this moment as real. I'm at the ICG's July finals. We'll find out what's happening next in the next episode. Anywho, for now, hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you tomorrow. Bye bye.